Imagine waiting 17 years to see the person who was meant most to you as a child. Now imagine discovering that your reunion was only the beginning of a love story nobody thought could happen. This is the incredible true story of friendship, giggles, and commitment against all odds. So many years after saying goodbye, she walked into a room and saw him again for the first time. Distance, time, disability, and life itself stood in the way. But love had other plans. She hadn't seen him in almost too many years to count. This reunion changed everything. The unexpected meeting turned into two lifelong best friends, into two lifelong best friends who became husband and wife. If you've ever wondered whether true love can survive years apart, this story might restore your faith. Our title today, Love Waited 17 Years. Or did it? Welcome to Dream Builders Diaries, building dreams one story at a time. And I'm Jeannie Craft. And here at Dream Builders Diaries, we dive deep into the personal stories of entrepreneurs, artists, innovators, and everyday visionaries just like you. We believe that every dream starts with a story worth telling, and by sharing these stories, we aim to empower you to create your own dream and the story behind it. But before we get started, grab a paper and a pencil if you don't already have one. Inspiration, ideas, and dreams come and go very quickly. Jot yours down. Don't let yours get away. At first, this looked like a simple reunion. Minutes later, everyone in the room was watching. This young woman had spent 17 years thinking her best friend was lost forever. And when they finally reunited, something unbelievable happened. What she didn't know was that this reunion would change her future forever. You see, she'd lost her best friend to distance and time. It had taken full advantage of the absence. Life can be that way sometimes when you suddenly realize that that person has been gone for a while. She thought of him countless times. He had a similar feeling. He had never stopped waiting for her to come home. He thought of her every day. She never left his mind as he found his way around the small town. So many reminders of her: the ice cream shop, the bus stop, and of course, the elementary school. He had become a volunteer at the local community center, and his work was so good that they hired him up to set up events and whatever else needed to be done. There were many events in this little town, and most of them expected to see him at them. It was in the community center on that typical day that he was putting up banners, sweeping the floor, and he began to set up the chairs. He had become key to the implementation of any event or community cleanup. It was at this community fundraiser in a small town in the Carolinas that Sarah's world tilted. Fundraisers were something that she had participated in regularly in the last year or two, but this was the first one since she had moved back home. A fundraiser had actually saved her financially from an ex she really believed in who betrayed her and stole her identity. When she thinks about it, the tears can still flow, but that's another story for another day. Across the room, arranging chairs with careful, deliberate precision, was a face she hadn't seen in 17 years, a face she would have recognized anywhere. And as he turned to get the next chair, she saw that profile, his blonde, bristly hair standing at attention from those two cowlicks. She smiled to herself, and then she heard herself say, "Alan?" His head turned, that smile, not so toothy now, but yes, that was the same smile, the same great smile that had greeted her every morning in Mrs. Patterson's kindergarten class, where a boy with Down syndrome became her fiercest protector and her best friend. He'd saved her the seat by the window every single day. He held her hand during fire drills, even split his snacks without her asking. He always wanted to be on her team or her partner when Mrs. Patterson asked the children to choose someone to work with. It all came rushing back. The giggles, the fun, the birthday parties they would not miss. If one of them couldn't attend, then neither one of them would attend. It was her father's job that took her so far away. Her family moved 3 states away, and she lost him to distance and time. They were both so young back then, not old enough even for snail mail, or any kind of mail for that matter. Now, here he was, taller, working, living independently. Saying her name like 17 years was really 17 minutes. He had bulked up quite a bit. Or had he? Had he always looked that strong and confident? Sarah! His voice sounded exactly the same. No, it didn't. It was louder, even louder than she remembered from kindergarten, which was often pretty loud. Instantly, they flew into each other's arms. They both began talking at the same time. How could it be? Are you here now? Do you drink coffee? When did you come home? Did you ever really leave? The questions gushed like a broken pipe. They both promised to keep talking on the break, but for now there was much work to be done. More chairs, more decorating, and the flyers. Where were the commitment flyers? Sarah suddenly realized that that's what she had been looking for when she saw him. The fundraiser was supposed to start in only just over an hour. Long story short, they shared numbers and started texting. Coffee became lunch. Lunch became weekend plans. Alan organized down to the smallest detail, even what color the napkins were supposed to be, or what color he wished that she would wear. He would even send her little itineraries of times for their great get-togethers, as he called them, that made her laugh and made her feel so cherished in equal measure. When she introduced him to our old high school and college friends, the reactions stung. Whispered questions, sideways glances. One former classmate actually asked if she was his caretaker. How could they be so cruel? Some of them had even shared his snacks and lunches from kindergarten. They didn't seem to mind way back then that Alan was a little different. But Alan, he could have cared less. He showed up too early to every single date. He was always sharply dressed and had tried to get his hair to obey. The strongest gel wouldn't help his hair cooperate, but it didn't matter. His smile said it all. He had her coffee order memorized, and he knew where to get her favorite salad and how much dressing was too much. And he knew she always wanted whole grain bread, not just whole wheat. He loved her with a consistency that put every flaky ex to shame. He asked her about her mother every time they saw each other. He remembered her mother's birthday and sent flowers and a card. He noticed when she'd had a hard day, and before she said a single word, his gentle arm would wrap around her shoulder. It was nice to have a special place for her weary brow. Then one day there was something missing from the itinerary. Alan proposed. The rock wasn't huge, but the sincerity and level of commitment were bigger than any stone she could have possibly worn. He promised that that would never change. He would build a life with intention while others stumbled through theirs on autopilot. Last Saturday, in the same community center where they reunited, Sarah married her kindergarten best friend in front of 200 people, half of them crying, all of them cheering. Alan wanted to make sure and set up even the chairs to make sure they were perfect for Sarah's big day. Alan had been holding both of Sarah's hands, and he said, I had waited my whole life for Sarah to come home, Alan said through tears as he stood to share the vows he had memorized for their special day. Sarah reached up with a tissue to wipe them from his cheek. They both said, I do together. They kissed and danced down the aisle hand in hand. When the photographer asked how it felt to be married, Alan said, I don't know. That's my wife. His giggle filled the room, booming with joy, filling the hearts of those all around them with laughter and tears. For nearly 2 decades, she held onto a friendship most people thought was impossible to keep. She thought she was finally getting her reunion, but what happened next changed both of their lives forever. Nobody expected this reunion to end with wedding vows, but that's exactly what happened. So to recap, what is your biggest takeaway from our diary today, and how does this diary relate to how you implement your dream? Why this diary? Because this diary demonstrates the magic and beauty of love that grew from kindergarten into adulthood. And I also share this diary because this powerful diary also celebrates the virtues of how two people who were magnetically brought together could not stay apart. Dreamers, believe in yourselves. Be passionate, work smart, know your why, apply what you learn each day, and enjoy life and always, always be kind. I want to leave you with this quotation. The best thing in life to hold on to is each other. That's by Audrey Hepburn. The best thing in life to hold on to is each other. Thank you so much, Alan, Sarah, and Auntie Beth, who shared this love story. And special thanks to those of you who listen to Dream Builders Diaries regularly. I'm grateful to you. The honor to spend time with you is all mine. Check out the other diaries in the Dream Implement playlist. And if you don't have it yet, get your 90-day Dream Builders Diary by Jeannie Craft on Amazon. The link will be in the description. Like and share this diary and subscribe for more. Contact us to tell your story. Thank you, and until next time, building dreams one story at a time.